So good afternoon. I understand many of you have questions for me regarding the plan and what we're doing here with the sublight plan. I'd be more than happy to, without making any statement, answer any one of your questions.
What's the deadline for getting the money from the city? Because if the mayor is saying, oh, I want this millionaire's tax, you got to wait for the Albany to get back in session, pass it. What's your timeline for getting the money for your turnaround plan?
My timeline, this has already started. These are the 32 different individual projects that we've now expanded to 35, by the way. We've taken some of them and put them into smaller parts. So it has started already, and the deadline for the money is, anytime soon. By the way, you got to make a distinction between the proposal the mayor has put forward today or yesterday and today in comparison to what I was asking for. Remember, at the very end of the presentation, I talked about that this is an emergency plan put in place to stabilize the subway system, and then there was a need for a long-term plan for which we were going to look for additional resources. And the mayor was addressing that. He's not addressed the issue we have right now. The issue we have right now is that we have a subway system that needs to be more reliable. We have a subway system that needs to be maintained, and that's what we need the money for now. The governor called an emergency. It's an emergency situation. I, in turn, with everybody at the MTA and the Transit Authority, put together a plan so we can get the subway system back on track. That plan is $836 million, and the proposal was half will be paid by the state, half will be paid by the city. That's really it. The proposal that the mayor put forward today did not address this issue at all. This is a future issue that's subject to the legislature, Dan, as you said, and we'll wait and see what happens. But I can't wait a year to start the work that's necessary. Yes?
Couldn't the governor call a special session to have the legislature vote on this tax if it's so urgent?
I think, I'm not sure of what the rules are of the legislature, but you know, if they can call a special session, I still won't get the money until a year from now. Most people don't pay their taxes until April 15th. By the time they collect it, I'm working in there now. There were 1,500 workers in the system last night working, doing many of the things that are on this action plan. I can't wait that long. I literally can't wait that long.
You said the mayor didn't address the issues. What exactly do you mean? He proposed a millionaire's tax. You say we have this plan right now. What are you saying?
Well, the millionaire's tax, the proposal that the mayor put forward is one in which money comes in the future, probably a year from now, and it's a permanent stream of income that we need to modernize the system. Before we get to modernize the system, we've got to stabilize the system. We've got to prevent the delays. We need more reliability. A lot of work that we need to do on. Excuse me a second. A lot of work that we need to do to get the system back in a state of good repair. Once we do that, then we need to modernize it. As I said in the presentation when we put this forward, this is an emergency plan that needs to be put in place immediately. Once we get on the road towards this, we then have to look for additional revenue sources, different ways in which we can get more money, so that we can modernize the system, get in new signal systems, better track, all the things we need to do to get a 21st century subway system in place. Two very different things. This is now. What the mayor was talking about is the future.
Chairman, can you elaborate on what work you've started and what work needs that commitment from the city to get done?
I can't answer that specifically, the second part of the question, but we've started on signal work, we started on the cleanup. I'd have to go through each one of these, and I'll do that at a separate time and go through and show you where we are. We're going to put a dashboard up that'll be able to show you where we stand in most of this stuff.
And are you opposed at face value to the mayor's millionaire's tax proposal, or
I'm not opposed to any of that stuff. I will tell you though, there'll be other proposals out there, and I want a sustainable revenue stream for the MTA. Opposition is not. Look, this has got to go before the legislature, the members of the Assembly and the members of the Senate. They've got to pass it, and then it has to go on to the governor. I don't have a role here. My job is to, whatever revenue streams we get, spend it both efficiently and effectively.
Chairman Lhota, the mayor's essentially
Joe is fine. Thank you.
The mayor essentially says that the city has already been putting in its fair share, and that the state has been siphoning off hundreds of millions of dollars from the MTA, and that they should put that money back.
Look, I've heard the mayor talk about that. The governor needs to put this money back. The fact of the matter is, the money was put back in the form of capital, dollar for dollar. So I mean, this is a canard, as I've said over and over again. And the mayor's throwing up a smoke screen on this money. And as far as fair share is concerned, we provide the city with free bus fares for the school children in the city of New York, and they've not kept their commitment to pay the full amount. I mean, this has been an issue for quite a long period of time, and it would be nice to, the idea that it's fair share, honor the agreement that was made with the MTA to pay for the free fares that are given to the public school children. I mean, you can't have it both ways.
Let's say the mayor never gives you guys the money. Are you just going to stop at, let's say, $400 million worth of work? Or will you keep going to the full?
I'm not going to. I'll recognize your question, but I'm not going to recognize it to the point that I'm going to answer that question, because I have to get this job done. I've got to understand. I've got to get the job done. Because the people in New York City deserve it. The mayor's constituents deserve a subway system that they can rely on and that they will feel comfortable with. And so I'm going to continue to press for the city to give money.
I think
Yes.
Senator Millionaires had said at the mayor's press conference that during this crisis, money was taken out of the MTA plan specifically for signal upgrades and used for station beautification.
There's $3 billion in the current capital plan for signals. I'm not talking about putting in new signals. I'm talking about maintaining what we have now. There's no way that, there's $3 billion. There's a huge amount of money in there for new signals. As you know, we have the new signals in on the L line. We have the number 7 line, which goes to the west end over here and goes all the way out to Flushing. All of those signals are in. We're working right now on the contractor is on the software. That'll be up and running by the end of this year, the beginning of next year. We've already started on the Astoria Boulevard with the new signals, almost all of which goes through Senator Generis's district. And so there's ample money in there in the capital plan for new and modern signals. Part of the Genius Award process is to see if we can do signals that are wireless. So that we can actually put them in faster. We'll be getting the initial results of the Genius competition next week, and we'll start week after next actually, and we'll be able to see what's there. I don't have any knowledge of that. Honestly, I don't.
2 more?
Sorry? Congestion pricing? Congestion pricing is something that seriously needs to be considered in the city of New York. As part of the plan that we developed here for the Long Island Railroad due to the work that Amtrak is doing downstairs here, we have a pilot of congestion pricing going on. We've actually offered truck drivers half fare on the tolls coming into the city if they do it at night. We've seen a 10% increase in the number of trucks coming through, taking advantage of that. Clear indication that congestion pricing works. It's a pilot program. It's going on, and this debate needs to happen. Congestion pricing is something that I've said over and over again. We need to have this debate. We need to have a very sincere debate, because the amount of traffic in this city is unbelievable. If you look at the numbers that we put out every month at the MTA, the actual, the one area that is increasing more than any other area are tolls on the Triborough Bridge and Tunnel, because the number of cars that are coming into the central business district keeps going up and up and up. We're at a point where the congestion is stifling the economic growth of the city.
Joe, you're, as MTA chairman, what's your personal thoughts about getting in the middle of the debate between governor and the mayor?
I don't have a role.
Or do you plan
I don't have a role in the debate. I don't have a role in the debate. My job is to do everything I can to get funding and to get this plan in place. What the mayor has proposed, I don't get to vote on. I don't get to, I'm not a member of the legislature. And so at that point, that's the direction we have to go in. My job is to protect the riders of the subway system so that they can have, as I've said over and over again, a reliable system, one that you know, they feel trust in. And I believe that is what my job is.
For those of us
Said
who
the
can't
mayor.
quite take part,
Last
do you
question.
generally support, I don't want to board in about this, sorry, but do you not generally support a consistent revenue stream,
Yeah.
year-to-year revenue stream?
I have said publicly, and I'll restate it again. We do need, while we have this initial plan, which we need to get out to stabilize our system, and then simultaneously with that, we need to look for additional revenue sources, long-term revenue sources, so that we can modernize the system. What the mayor put forward today was part of that debate to modernize the system forward. Nothing to do with getting the system back into a state of reliability. And that's the issue. But I have publicly stated that we will work on finding that, you know, that stream of revenue. It's very important that we find that.
Where are
Thank
you
you.
getting funding right now? This is what we all care about. We need the money right now. Where are you standing at that point?
50% of it has been given by the governor, and I'm looking for the other 50% to come from the city of New York.
And you're saying that Mayor de Blasio's, you know, long-term plan for the revenue.
I need this now.
Need it
I
now.
want this done. This has to get done now. We've started it now. What he's proposed today will not come in until next year. I can't wait till next year to get paid. We've got to do this right now.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks everybody. Thank you.